Hey y'all, it's Crystal. Thanks so much for coming by today. It's that time. March is almost here, so let's talk about my March TBR, my to be read list, my reading plans for the month of March. Are you ready? Let's go. So as usual, I've got a lot of book clubs and buddy reads and that kind of thing. And the only other event I will be participating in, other than my own Week of Weird, of course, will be Middle Grade March, which I love Middle Grade March. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So I mentioned the Week of Weird. I've already posted my TBR and reading plans for that week. That again is the 12th through the 19th. And so I've got my full week of Weird is ready and I can't wait. I'm so excited. But so other than that, let's get into what I'm going to be reading. So of course I'll go through book clubs and book group reads and buddy reads and all that good stuff first. So for Rachel over at the Shades of Orange, she has a Patreon book club and we will be reading Good Omens next month. I'm excited. This is one I haven't actually read yet. I'm a big gaming fan, but I just haven't gotten to this one yet. So I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to it. And I think it's gonna be fun. I think it'll be a good one to do as a group read too and kind of see what everybody else thinks about it. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. All right, so then Kelly over at Kelly Tactile Books, of course, has her From Hell book club where we read vintage horror, and the choice for March is Disembodied by Robert Walker. I don't know a thing about it. I'm just going to see if I have time to get to it. I haven't had time to get to the February book yet, so too many book clubs, so many books I want to read, but I'll put them on the list just in case I have got time for it. And then she also has her Eerie Indies book club where she's picking us out some independent horror books. And for March is A Blackness Absolute by Caitlin Marceau, which I think is a short story collection. So that'll be easy for me to get through because that'll kind of be my short story collection for the month to dive into. So looking forward to that. She's also hosting us a big group read for the month. I know there's a handful of us that are going to be reading this, and I'm really excited to finally get to Blackwater by Michael McDowell. I'm really excited. I've heard this book is great, and so yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So of course I will link Kelly below if you want to dig it, get in on any of these book clubs or the group reads. She's got the Discord set up for all that. She's great. So I think that's it. That's it for Kelly, I think. Okay, so I have a little book club that I have with some friends that I run, and our pick for March is The Rose Code by Kate Quinn. Now this is a historical fiction set, I believe, during World War II, and I think we're following like 3 women that kind of sign up to be like code breakers to try to break like Nazi code. So that actually sounds pretty interesting to me. So I do like a good historical fiction, every now and then. And Kate Quinn is actually someone I've been wanting to read. I've got several of her books on my shelf, or at least a couple I know of. Still haven't got to them, but I'll give this one a go and see how it is. And it sounds, like I said, it sounds pretty interesting. So we'll see. So the Stephen King read along, of course, that is hosted over on Brad Proctor's Discord. I spun the wheel for March, and Dreamcatcher came up. I think this one's kind of mixed feelings for people. It's one I have not read, so I'll give it a go. We'll see. We'll just see how it goes. So if you're interested in reading the Dreamcatcher by Stephen King, of course I'll link Brad below where you can find the links to his Discord and all that good stuff. Come and join us as we read a crap ton of Stephen King books. We read one every month, and we've been going for at least a year and a half now. Okay, Brad Proctor also hosts a book club, the Spinebreakers book club, and the choice for March is The Hacienda by Isabel Canas. I do own this book, but it is buried in my pile of books somewhere, so I have to find it somewhere. I think it's sort of a gothic story. I'm not sure much about it, but I've heard it's pretty good from most folks, so I definitely want to check that out. Okay, Ollie over at Criminale has his Patreon these days, and he's got a Patreon book club. And Cop Hater is the pick for that one. This is by Ed Bang. This is the first of the 87th Precinct series, which he continually talks about on his channel as being so good. So it's a it's a detective, procedural type story. It has got a million I think, books in the series. So I believe this is book 1, and so I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be really good. And it sounds, last I checked, it was on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm looking forward to it. Now, from my, I have my 23 books for 2023. I've got 23 ebooks that I picked out for the year. I pulled one of those for March, and I think I'm going to try to finally get to Black Heart's Boys Choir by Curtis Lawson. I just want to get to this book, and so I'm going to put it on the list, and hopefully I'll have time for it, but we'll see. Okay, I've got one more. I'm trying to read more Margaret Atwood this year, and I'm going to pull one of her poetry books for this month. This is Morning in the Burned House, and yeah, this is just some of her poems. I've never read any of her poetry, and I'm not a poetry aficionado or anything, but I do like to read some poetry from time to time. So, and these are older. This is from 1995. So yeah, I'll give some of her poems a go and see how that is. I've got a couple of her poetry collections on my shelf. All right, I do have an arc that I need to get to. We'll talk about wait till the last minute, but I have Antimatter Blues by Edward Ashton. I got this from NetGalley. This is book 2 of the Mickey 7 kind of series. I don't know if it's gonna be like a big series now or not, but it's the second book. I really, really loved Mickey 7. And so I'm really, really anxious to find out what's going to be happening next in book 2, to follow Mickey 7 and see what shenanigans he's going to get to now. I'm looking forward to it. So I'll probably get to that kind of right first in the month, so I can write my little review and all that good stuff. So I will have a couple of carryovers from February, because these are kind of big, chunky fantasy books. Of course, we're continuing on with Midnight Tides by Stephen Erickson. I'm reading this. Part of Steve Talks Books is kind of hosting this Malazan series read along. That's complicated words. So we're chatting about them every now and then over on his channel. And along with Layla, and so we're just gonna plug through this book. I think we're gonna talk about this whole book sometime in kind of mid-April, I think we've decided. So I've got I need to make some progress. So we'll get to that, and I'm still making my way kind of slowly through Moon Witch Spider King by Marlene James. Also, buddy, reading this with Brad Proctor. Haven't made it too far, but I'm really loving it. I'm just kind of slow, just taking my time with this one though, and digging into it. So I'll continue that probably into March, just because I got quite a bit more to read in that one. But it's really good. It's so good. I love this series. Okay, throw those down there. Okay, so that's sort of all of the miscellaneous types books. So let's talk Middle Grade March. So Middle Grade March is hosted by Krista from Books and Jams, Katie from Life Between Words, and Amanda the Curly Reader. I think they have another host that was over on Instagram now, and I forgot to look that up. But anyway, I'll link their channels below. You can find their announcements and all that good stuff, and they've got some good recommendation videos already posted out. So yeah, I love Middle Grade March. This will be what I don't know, 4th year Middle Grade March? I don't even know. I've been doing Middle Grade March since I discovered BookTube, I think. So yeah, I'm excited. So this year they've got some really good prompts, and of course the prompts, they always say you don't have to follow any of the prompts if you just read one middle grade book. That's what they want. They just want to encourage people to read middle grade books. And I love middle grade books anyway. So yeah. So the group read they have for the month is A Rover's Story by Jasmine Warga. And let me tell you how excited I am about this book. This is a story about a Mars rover. Like, you had me at Mars rover, like, I'm super excited. I don't even know what else it's about. I just know it's a Mars rover, and that's all I need to know. I'm gonna read this book. I'm so excited. Okay, the next prompt is to read a book that is an award winner other than the Newbery. So the Newbery is sort of I don't know if it's considered the creme de la creme of children's literature, but and it's been going on for like 100 years. It's the Newbery is a very established award. But I And I forgot to look up the award. I was going to write, we'll put it here. Because I looked it up, but I forgot to write it on my list what award this actually won. But Pax by Journey Home by Sarah Pennypacker. I don't know, it's cute little foxes on the cover, so that's all I really need to know. So it's been a year since Peter and his pet fox Pax have seen each other. Once inseparable, they now lead very different lives. Pax and his mate Bristle have welcomed a litter of kits that they must protect in a dangerous world. Meanwhile, Peter, newly orphaned after the war, racked with guilt and loneliness, leaves his adopted home with Vola to join the Water Warriors, a group of people determined to heal the land from the scars of the war. Well, it goes from there. So, wow, this sounds really good. This cover, I mean, just wraps around. It's gorgeous, isn't it? So this definitely had me at the foxes on the cover. Like, I love I love foxes, so yay. Okay, the next one is to read a science fiction, dystopian story. So of course you could read Rover's story for that prompt, and that will fulfill that for sure. But I have been dying to start this series. This is Among the Hidden by Margaret Peterson Haddix. This is book 1 of the Shadow Children sequence. I've got about, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these books so far. I don't even know how many are in the series. Maybe 8ish or so, I'm not sure. But it just sounds so super interesting. It's one that's not super long. I've just been dying to read this. So Luke has never been to school. He's never had a birthday party or gone to a friend's house for an overnight. In fact, Luke has never had a friend. He is one of the Shadow Children, a third child forbidden by the population police. He's lived his entire life in hiding, and now, with a new housing development replacing the woods next to his family's farm, he's no longer even allowed to go outside. Then one day, Luke sees a girl's face in the window of a house where he knows 2 other children already live. Finally, he's met a shadow child like himself. Jen is willing to risk everything to come out of the shadows. Does Luke dare to become involved in her dangerous plan? Can he afford not to? Yeah, this actually says it's an ALA Best Book for Young Adults, so that's so maybe it's some type of award winner also, but I don't know. I'm really intrigued by this little series, and I want to start it. So I'm gonna dig into that. Okay, so the next prompt is to read a book that has a neurodiverse character, and I'm gonna listen to the audiobook. I've got it on Libby for Not If I Can Help It by Carolyn Mackler, and this has a character with sensory processing disorder, which I definitely don't see very often, but I'm very interested to read about it, and I think it's a girl character. I'm not even sure. Just dealing with sensory processing disorder, and other life things, I'm sure. Okay, then last prompt for middle grade March is to read a book from 2022, and I'm gonna finally get to Amari. Yeah, and The Great Game by Bibi Also. This is book 2 of I forget the name of the series now, but the first book was Amari and the Night Brothers, and I loved that book. Loved it, and so yeah, I'm just gonna get into book 2. Gonna probably do the audio again for this one also, but yeah, oh gosh, I loved Amari, and yeah, I need to get back into that series, so I'm gonna read book 2 for that. So that's it. Again, a pretty long list for my TBR, but I like to have a list. So let me know if you're going to participate in middle grade March, what you're going to be reading. Are you going to join us for the week of weird? I'll link my announcement video below, and Jason's below also, and our Discord if you want to hop in on some weird fiction with us for that week. Otherwise, I'm just excited for some March. Yeah, feels like spring is around the corner here, so maybe the weather is going to warm up, and yeah, so I'm just rambling now. So thanks for watching, and I'll always appreciate your time, and bye friends.